Hello guys, and welcome back to my science virtual classroom on this Tuesday, March 31st, 2020, our second day of learning online from home. Hopefully the work yesterday wasn't too much and you were able to finish it. If you didn't get to finish it, I will ask you that you finish it today. It is very important that you keep up with the pace in this video. Otherwise, you will not finish the packet by the time we go back to school. And then I will be unfortunately forced to have you complete it over recess, something that none of us want. I know we're all excited to get back to school, to be able to play soccer, run around playing tag, or just hanging outside with our friends. So I would hate for you guys to miss that opportunity because you were not able to finish the packet. So please make sure that you keep track of your work and you finish everything I ask you to finish it in the video. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our do now. Today, another personal question. I would like to know, what have you been watching in TV during this quarantine? I know because we have been stuck indoors for so long, we may have a lot of extra time and a lot of time watching TV, which it's okay to watch TV from time to time. Just try not to go overboard. On my end, I've watched primarily two things. Me and my wife have been rewatching the whole Harry Potter series. Right now, we are barely on the third movie, The Prisoner of Azkaban. This one right here. But yeah, we hope to be able to finish the entire series by this week. And then another quiz that I'm doing on my own, because my wife is not a big fan of these. I am watching all of the Marvel movies, starting from Iron Man 1. If you guys have seen Infinity War and Endgame, these are all the movies that led up to that. So I'm pretty excited about that. So with that in mind, what have you been watching in TV? I would love for you to share. Please do so in the comment section below so that I can keep up on how you're doing during this quarantine season. And, I would love to hear some of those recommendations. Maybe I would like to watch some of those things that you're watching and end up watching them myself. All right, let's go ahead and get started with today. Yesterday, we covered half of the properties of matter. Today, we're going to cover properties of matter again, second part, or the properties that we did not get to cover yesterday. So we're going to begin with solubility. As a lot of us should remember, solubility is the ability to dissolve when mixed with water. When you put in something into water and you stir the water, if it dissolves, then it is soluble. It can dissolve. Now, what is dissolving, or what is, solubility? How do we know that it's dissolving? Well, something dissolves when it becomes so small that we cannot see it anymore, kind of like sugar or salt, or when something spreads out evenly in the water, kind of like lemon juice. So that is solubility. Now, solids are soluble in water, and there are pretty much only two solids that are soluble in water. Of course, there are more, but these are the two that we need to focus on. The first one is sugar, as the sugar cubes presented in this picture. The second one is salt, as a salt shaker in this picture. So both of these, if we put these in water and we stir the water, they're going to become so small that we can't see them anymore. That's why they are soluble in water. Now, we also have solids that are not soluble in water. These objects, if you put them in water, they will not dissolve. Rocks, for example, they don't dissolve in water. You can still see them. Sand sinks to the bottom of a cup of water and does not dissolve, does not disappear. Also flour, like the kind of flour that we use to bake cookies or to bake brownies or to make things within the kitchen. These are solids that do not dissolve in water. Also pepper doesn't dissolve in water. All right, now liquids are also soluble in water. Some are, some aren't. A couple of great examples of liquids that are soluble include honey. It goes into water, and if you stir, it dissolves by spreading evenly in the water. Honey does the same thing, and lemon juice does the same thing. Now, all of these three liquids, they are soluble in water. They will dissolve. They'll spread evenly, but they also happen to be more dense than water. So they will sink to the bottom of the cup, and we'll talk about density shortly. Now, liquids that are not soluble in water, we only have one type of liquid that does not dissolve in water, and that is oil. We can pour oil into a cup of water and we can stir it for as long as we want to. The oil will never mix in the water. Instead, the oil is going to float at the top of the water and never mix together. That's just a property between oil and water. Now, there are a lot of types of oil. We have cooking oil, we have vegetable oil, we have coconut oil, there's lamp oil. Any type of oil will not be soluble in water. Any type of oil will separate itself from water, but also notice that this oil, or pretty much any oil, is sitting at the top of the water. That means this oil is less dense than water. So yeah, now this is a perfect way to move into our next topic, which is density. Density is the ability of an object to float or sink in water. If an object is less dense than water, then that means it is going to float in water. If an object is more dense, that means that it is going to sink in water. Some materials that are less dense than water, or in other words, that will float in water, include a styrofoam, whether it's the plate or the cups. Wood tends to float in water. It is less dense than water. And plastic is less dense than water. Also, rubber is less dense than water. So there's a lot of objects, but these are three that I wanted to mention first. Now, some materials that are more dense than water and they will sink include rocks, metals. Metals, if you put them in water, they will sink in water. And syrup or honey. These are liquids that don't look like they're very dense, but they will sink in water. As soon as you put them in there, they will go to the bottom of the cup because syrup and honey are more dense than water, therefore they will sink. So although syrup doesn't look very dense in comparison to rocks and to metals, we do need to know that it will sink in water. And finally, we'll talk about conduction and induction. Remember, we have conductors and inductors, and what separates both of these are their ability to either allow the flow of energy or to stop the flow of energy. Conductors, they allow the flow of energy. Insulators stop the flow of energy. Some examples of conductors include metals. All metals, allow for the conduction of electrical energy. And glass. Glass does not allow electrical energy to flow through, but it does allow thermal energy to flow through. Insulators is pretty much anything that is not a metal. Wood is an insulator. It will stop energy from flowing through. Plastic, like we see in these plastic wires over here, and in these water bottles, or rubber as well. These are all great insulators. They're going to stop the flow of energy. And we use insulators for a lot of things. We use them so that we don't burn our hands when we're cooking. We use them so that electric wires don't touch each other and then burn the whole electrical object that you're using. We also use them so that we stay safe from thermal and electrical energy that may harm us. Also, if I want to have a cup of tea that I want it to stay warm longer, I need to use a good insulator to keep all that heat energy from leaving my cup of tea. So insulators and conductors, we use them in everyday life. Now, the big question about these two is, are all metals conductors? Yes or no? Think about it. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so Karim, are all metals conductors? Yes or no? Totally kidding. There's no way for me to hear you, Karim. But I'm sure you knew the answer, and I'm sure a lot of us did. Yes, all metals are conductors. Just remember that not all metals are magnetic. We covered this yesterday, right? There are only 4 types of metals that are magnetic, but all metals are conductors. All metals will allow thermal and electrical energy to flow through them. And of course, this was just a review on things that we have covered before. So if you need to go back and rewatch this video, you definitely can. For now, let's go into talking about what work you need to complete today. So first thing that you need to complete is your packet on pages 8 through 14. Remember that the number of pages does not start with the first 2 pages. The first page is instructions, don't count that one. The second page is internet options, do not count that one. Page number 1 was the first page that you worked on. So now you're going to turn to your packet to page 8 and go from page 8 to 14. Make sure you show all your work throughout. Circle important information. Write down keywords and their meaning. So after you are done with those pages of work, look for the concept attainment quiz, about classifying matter. And that one you're going to find on page 15 of your packet. Complete that page entirely. And the last thing that you need to do today is to do a quizzes. So this is what you're going to do. In your electronic device, you're going to go to quizzes.com/join. Now, normally I give you a code. I cannot give you a code this time around because, you may be working on it right now. You may not. You may be working on it late at night. There's no way for us to coordinate for all of us to do quizzes at the same time. So instead, once you go to quizzes.com/join, look at the top where it says find a quiz. You're going to click there. And then you're going to type classifying matter. And then after you press enter, you're going to get a bunch of options. The first one should look like this. Classifying matter played 2,026 times, 2nd through 4th grade. So you're going to click that quizzes and you're going to complete it. I believe it's about 10 questions and it's all about classifying matter and everything that we've covered for the last 2 days, yesterday and today. Once you are done with the science work for today. Expect another video tomorrow. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate in sending me a message or asking me anything. If you're stuck, I'm here to help. All right. And I believe, that's it. That's it for today. Once again, if you need to go back and watch this video again, please do so. You can pause the video, you can stop at certain parts, whatever it is that you need in order to remember these concepts and work on this carefully. Also, page number 8, if I'm not mistaken, has a big star at the top. Remember, that means that you take a picture of that page after you've shown all your work and completed all the questions, and then you send that page to me. To the phone number that I've sent you through GroupMe. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you guys are having a great day and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.